An investigation into the long history of complaints against police officers in Minneapolis, well before the George Floyd incident. Our senior investigative correspondent, Drew Griffin, reports.
In the midst of this video that horrified a nation, a bystander called out a badge number.
1087. I played it over and over and listened carefully and figured out for sure this was badge 1087. And at that point, then I knew that it was Derek Chauvin.
George Floyd had been dead less than 12 hours. Michelle Gross, who heads a Minneapolis group called Communities United Against Police Brutality, was about to tell the world who killed him.
And so when I saw the name, I said, oh, him. I wasn't surprised because when you start to see those same officers over and over again with multiple complaints, their names lodge in your brain.
For 2 decades, her organization has been tracking complaints against Minneapolis police. The data is limited, the investigative details not public, but the outcomes are clear. Scroll down data from the city's own website, and you'll see complaint after complaint closed with no discipline. Minneapolis police have racked up 2,013 complaints in 7 years. Of those, just 31 ended in serious discipline. Just 1.5%.
We have so failed to address police conduct in this community. It made it literally inevitable that somebody was going to die this way.
Derek Chauvin, whose knee was on George Floyd's neck, has at least 18 complaints. Just 2 have ever led to discipline. His partner that night, Toe Tao, has 6. 1 still pending, 5 dismissed with no discipline. In 2017, Tao and his partner were sued for using unreasonable force by a man who was punched and kicked so hard his teeth broke, though he had not committed a crime. The city and officers denied any wrongdoing, settled for $25,000. Tao remained a cop. Minneapolis police have a long history of allegations of excessive force, lawsuits, and even intervention from the Federal Department of Justice. Police chiefs, city councils, mayors come and go without fixing the problems that have built for decades.
Well, if I had an easy answer about why we haven't gotten more done with police reform in Minneapolis, we wouldn't be in this mess today.
R.T. Ryback was mayor of Minneapolis from 2002 to 2014. He changed the police chief 3 times. He says he fought for more transparency in complaints, fought to bring in minority officers, and better training to handle the mentally ill. But when we see over and over again the data, the complaints filed that went nowhere and continue to go nowhere, I really have to question whether or not there was a sincere attempt to restructure the Minneapolis Police Department.
It's the right question. Someone like me should stand before you and have to answer that. I don't want to leave the impression I didn't try, but I did not get the job done. And now is the time to get the job done.
Philip Atiba-Goff is the co-founder of the Center for Policing Equity.
If we think the problem here is, wow, policing is really bad in the United States, we missed the point.
What is the point? Goff says it's entire swaths of communities lacking grocery stores, lacking jobs, lacking good education. And he says, let's begin using data for far more than law enforcement.
So I'm talking about measuring everything that we need to ensure that those communities can be healthy, safe, and empowered to determine their own outcomes. Police are the spark, but the historic disinvestment in Black communities, which is why they only have police to solve their problems, that's really the powder keg.
A powder keg that erupted with the protests, but had been building for decades. Wolf, the city of Minneapolis tells us most of those thousands of complaints against its officers are considered low level, and in fact, in 300 cases, its officers received coaching instead of actual discipline. But how coaching is applied is unclear, and it's certainly not transparent. A former police chief of Minneapolis tells us if one of her officers was coached repeatedly for bad behavior, she wouldn't even know it. Wolf?
Drew Griffin reporting for us. Drew, excellent work. Thank you.